Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Jennifer's Lair. My name is Jennifer, guys. If you haven't been here before, I love Halloween. I love spooky things. I love ghosts, paranormal, cats, music, supernatural, pretty much a lot of different things. So I hope you guys, if you guys like my channel, please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can see when I add my newest videos. Thank you guys so much for returning to my returning subscribers. Welcome, welcome everyone. I am so excited today because I am going to talk about something I love to talk about. And if you guys haven't already, or it might come out after this or before this, but there will be some Halloween videos made. I talk about just a little bit of stuff like the Halloween Capital is one of my videos that's going to be coming out of the world, a Halloween Capital of the world, and then also the just like little bits and pieces of Halloween, like, you know, how did we get the colors for Halloween? What's like some of the symbols of Halloween? How did they get attached to Halloween? Like bats, cats, witches brooms, cauldrons, candy corn, things like that, guys. So, and like the jack-o'-lantern and things too. So please go and check those videos out. They might be up or they might not be up about this one. Before or after this one, they'll be coming up though. I'm doing 2 videos a week now, Wednesdays and Fridays I'm going for. Hopefully I can keep it up. I'm not sure, but I'm going to try my best. I don't know what I'll be doing after the Halloween season, as you know, because I kind of just get into this Halloween thing, and then it's like, because Halloween is not just a day for me. It's not just a holiday. It's a lifestyle. Like I keep up all my stuff all year round for Halloween. I love it spooky, and I just do me. That's it, you know. So, well, anyways, guys, let's get into this video. Tonight, I was thinking about... Now, I wish that there was, like, some thunder and lightning and stuff, because it would make it even more creepier to talk about this stuff. But it is probably, around 11 something. It's 11:27 right now at night. So, and I'm choosing to talk about a really awesome topic, because for me, I love it, and you know I believe in it. But I'm going to be talking tonight about haunted dolls and trying to give you the stories. I'm going to be reading some stuff that I found. I did some research like all my other videos. I like to read stuff, guys, because I don't want to forget anything. I don't want to leave anything out. Sorry, I kicked you guys. I don't want to leave anything out, and I don't really want to, you know, I want to give you guys the facts. You know what I mean? Like, if I try to remember all this information, it's not going to come out the same. So I'm really trying hard to, you know, I'm going to provide some pictures. I'm going to provide as much information as possible on this, what I found out about all of this stuff. Now, there's only going to be a few dolls in this video or whatever. I'm sure there's way more haunted dolls other places and things. But these are some of the most popular ones, and they came in this, I mean, when I did the research, they popped up. So these are the dolls that we're going to go by. And I do have some pictures. And the first doll I'm going to talk about is a very popular doll, and people have heard of her, I'm sure, Annabelle. Now, Annabelle is actually, you know, I'll show you a picture. I want to show you a picture and then show you another picture, so that way you guys can see her. This is from the film Annabelle, okay? This photo right here is from the movie Annabelle, right? But this here is not the real Annabelle. It's not. It's not the doll. This here is the real doll of Annabelle, and I got a couple of them. Now, if you notice this woman here, her name is Lorraine Warren, and she was the one that actually came, her and her husband, she's a paranormal investigator. Her husband is a demonologist. So they met ghost hunting and they got married or whatever, of course, because that kind of brought them together. But they have a museum, and we're going to get into more. I believe I have more information on the museum. I hope I do, because I was meaning to get to that. If not, I will do a separate video just on the museum, but I believe that I do have some information for you guys about the museum. But this was taken in the museum, and this is the actual Annabelle doll. It is a Raggedy Ann doll. And as you can tell, it says, do not touch anything. Warning, positive, do not open. So, I mean, they have a certain, like, they have a museum and they lock everything up in it. And she is locked in this actual case. This is an actual picture of her. And I actually have another one too. And I'm sorry, I can't read what's on the sign there. So, because it's cut off in the photo. Positively do not. I can't read that either. But here is another picture of Annabelle. She's locked up in this case. And they've got a card there. And they've got a cross. Now, Lorraine Warren and her husband passed away. Lorraine Warren, I think she passed away in 2019. We might get information on that, more on that. But the museum is closed. So all the haunted objects that her and her husband, they came in contact with and was actually able to take from the, from the grounds of where they were at that point in time, they put in this museum. There is way more stuff in the museum than just Annabelle, which I might have some more pictures of. We'll get into that in a little bit. Whoa, I am dropping stuff now. But this is a picture of the actual Annabelle doll. Now, you'll find out what I feel would be the perfect little thing for the doll, because I think that Annabelle and another doll that's on this list, his name is Robert, and yes, he was in the Osbournes, I Want to Believe show. I believe that him and Annabelle would raise hell together. Like, we're talking really hell. I'm going to set Annabelle's pictures right there. I really do feel like they would raise hell together. Just saying. If they got together, oh, Jesus. Help us all. Okay, anyways, we're going to start. I'm going to read this article to you guys. It's from Den of Geek. That's where I got these articles from. Some of them are from other different things. And I will, we'll get into this, because this is a whole thing here now. So, all right. So we're going to, so this video is, again, on haunted dolls. Annabelle. When The Conjuring introduced Annabelle to the mainstream audience in 2013, it was in the visage of an antique porcelain doll with a polar and ruby red mischievous smile that was the focus of Ed and Lorraine Warren's most recent case file. The actual Annabelle is far more mundane and looks like Raggedy Ann doll, about the size of a 4-year-old child and attached to an inhuman entity. Before she made her big screen debut in James Wan's movie, Annabelle was introduced in Gerald Brittle's 1980 book, The Demonologist, The Extraordinary Career of Ed and Lorraine Warren. I am getting goosebumps talking about this right now. Holy crap. And I respect her, man. I respect her. I have respect for all of these dolls. I have respect for because this apparently the entity that lives in the doll is not human in Annabelle, the real Annabelle, which I just showed you pictures of, by the way. The Warrens' account of Annabelle has it that in 1970, a mother purchased the Raggedy Ann doll from a hobby store as a birthday gift to her adult daughter, Donna Jennings. Jennings, a nurse, lived with fellow nurse Angie Stapleton. Stapleton's fiance, Lou Carlo, was also a frequent visitor to their modern apartment. The Warrens were allegedly called into the case by a skeptical Cleary because the doll had begun to move around the girl's home. At first, Jennings said that the doll's position would change while she was away at work, or would appear to be standing or kneeling on its own. Stapleton said that the doll would change rooms while they were gone, and then handwritten notes in parchment began to appear, with writing that looked like a child saying "help us" or "help Lou." The trio told the paranormal investigators they didn't own a pencil and didn't have parchment around. One night, they discovered blood on the doll's hand and chest, and even weirdly, a piece of chocolate seemed to appear. The name Annabelle Higgins was introduced by medium the nurses consulted. The medium claimed that Annabelle was the spirit of a 7-year-old girl who had lived in happier times when the apartments were still fields. The girl only wanted love, said the medium, and requested permission to stay with the woman and to enter the doll, which they granted, much to Ed and Warren's dismay. Activity increased over the course of a year, culminating with Lou having a dream about the doll floating over him, hands on his neck, strangling him. On another occasion, he heard... Okay, sorry guys. I'm just a little bit like my hair is standing on end, so I'm just like, oh. And I swear to God, like in the video, I thought I saw something in my video just a little bit ago. So, oh my God, this is getting real. Okay. Activity increased over the course. Wait, hang on a second. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm going to read a little bit over it because I don't want to miss anything. Activity increased over the course of a year, culminating with Lou having a dream about the doll floating over him, hands on his neck, strangling him. On another occasion, he heard sounds in Donna's room and went to investigate, encountering the doll on the floor while something attacked him from behind, leaving 7 bloody claw marks, which they said was a symbolic mark of the beast. Like, usually if it's like 4 or more, I think it's demonic, if I'm correct. So that is a sign of the beast. The Warrens said that they determined an inhuman spirit was manipulating the doll as opposed to possessing it, and the recognition it received from the roommates empowered it as it looked for a human host. Enlisting Father Cook of Estanger Church, the apartment was exorcised, and the Warrens ended up with the doll. The celebrity ghost hunters said that they believe A victorious hatred tried to run them off the road as they transported the doll home. Despite building a special case to contain Annabelle at their occult museum, they claimed a Catholic priest's life was endangered and a young man killed on a motorcycle shortly after they challenged the doll. Also, the doll supposedly arrived at the museum with a spectral black cat that would stalk Ed's office and demoralized by the doll's side. Ooh. Ed's office demoralized by the doll's side. Currently, the Warrens Occult Museum is closed after Lorraine recently passed away. As with each of these dolls, the story would be treated with healthy skepticism, considering the lack of corroboration. However, Annabelle is the most famous allegedly real haunted doll, and her tale continued in this year's third standalone Annabelle movie. So I've seen all of the Annabelle movies, and it freaks me out. And I do believe that there's something going on, you know, with that doll. Okay, so now we are going to get into, I'm going to read this, and we will, oh, there's more pictures of Annabelle, just so you guys know. But I'm going to read this. Back 200 years, made with real human hair by Eastern European gypsies, and it was supposedly haunted by restless spirit of drowned boy. Okay, this here must be a different story, so I am not going to read this right this second, okay? We are going to... I'm going to set this aside because I think this goes to something else, and it wasn't supposed to be here. I kind of feel like it might be from Robert, but we'll get into that. I'll fix it in a little bit here, but we have another photo of, this is the museum that I'm talking about, guys. This is part of what they have at the museum, and there's Annabelle in her special case. And if you notice, there's a card, there's a tarot card on that case as well. And that's Annabelle. And all of those possessions that you see, the whole place is full of them. And they have to be locked up. And there's special instructions that I think some of the family members still, they actually follow through with, because there's certain cautions to be taken with a lot of those haunted items, because there is a lot of haunted stuff. And I believe in that too. So, this here, now we're going to get into, we're going to start talking about the museum. So, because I left a note to myself on this. I actually did go through with finding all of the information about the Warrens Occult Museum. So let's read up on this and see what information we can find out. The Warren Occult Museum, where the Annabelle doll is located, has been closed to the public since 2019. The museum was started by paranormal investigators Ed and Lauren Warren, with Ed working on a religious demologist and Lauren functioning as a medium. The museum is listed as permanently closed by Atlas Obscura. I'm sorry. I'm actually butchering that name, so I'm sorry about that. I'll spell the name for you guys. It's Altas. Okay, that's the first word, the first name. The second name is Obscura. Okay. The Warren Occult Museum is located between the Warrens' former home in Monroe, Connecticut. The Symbolic wrote, "The Warrens' work inspired the horror films from Annabelle 2014, Annabelle Creation 2017, Annabelle Comes Home 2019. The movies are based on the real-life Raggedy Ann doll, who Lorraine said was evil. Some people became worried on Friday, August 14th, as the doll's name became a top trending topic online after rumors swirled that Annabelle has escaped the museum. The hoax has since been debunked. The Warrens' son-in-law, Tony Spectra, who is now the leader of the New England Society of Physics Research, NESPR, posted a YouTube video where he confirmed Annabelle never left her glass enclosure. Here's what he said. I'm here to tell you something. I don't know if you want to hear this or not, but Annabelle did not escape. Annabelle's alive, well, and I shouldn't say alive. Annabelle's here in all her infamous glory. She never left the museum. Remember, I have high-tech security here. If she had left the museum, I'd have instantly known if something happened or somebody broke in. I have good alarm systems here, and the police are good to respond. They respond within a couple of minutes, maybe if that. But Annabelle's here. She didn't go anywhere. She didn't take a trip. She didn't fly first class, and she didn't go out to visit her boyfriend. So here she is. Let's put the rumors to rest, guys. I appreciate all the concern. I'd be concerned if Annabelle really did leave because she's nothing to play with. Okay, so the museum was closed in 2019 over zoning violations, the Monroe Sun reported. It is not a museum, it's a residential house. The street is very narrow public roadway. For parking, there isn't enough parking for any commercial enterprise. The town's police sheriff, John Seventer, told the Monroe Sun, and the traffic generated by the home inconveniences neighbors. Spera said he had tried to cooperate. I have been in compliance with the town's order and have added more signage in an attempt to quell curious visitations from fans. Spectra told the publication in an email. Spectra planned to add more security cameras and lights. I have done everything to the best of my ability to stop the intrusion of unwanted lights. Sorry guys. Unwanted guests, that's what it says. He told the publication, I am not happy with people crawling around the house at all hours either, and the burden placed on neighbors and the local police department, who do a fantastic job of checking on and clearing the property. The museum contained artifacts that have been touched by evil. The Occult Museum was first opened in 1952, and the Warrens continued to add items that had been touched by evil to their collection, as noted by Atlas Obstrucra. That I don't know how to say the name, so I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name. The Warrens locked the trinkets away to keep them safe from the public, while there were plenty of knickknacks locked away in the Occult Museum, including an alleged vampire's coffin, demonic masks. The most popular totem housed in the museum was the Annabelle doll, who sat in her own glass case. Annabelle, who looks nothing like the doll from the Hollywood films, is said to have cursed a man's death. There's a reason why Annabelle's appearance was changed. Superstitious Times revealed that the doll look had to change to avoid copyright infringements. Spectra agreed to do an episode of Ghost Adventures with host Zach Bargans. Now, I love Zach. I think Zach is freaking amazing. He is amazing guy. I love his show. He is awesome. Okay, let's get on with it. If you don't know who he is, he's a paranormal investigator. He goes into haunted places and he takes like a couple other guys with them, and they film and they like prove that there's some haunting things going on. They get EVPs and they get like stuff on video, but you know, let's just say Zach, he has some big balls because he will sit there and, you know, kind of poke them, you know, poke the ghosts and stuff and get them to actually respond and do things. And he's been scratched before, I think, on multiple occasions that I've seen. He's actually had like like demonic marks on him. Like there's been like 3 or 4 freaking marks down his back and stuff. It's crazy. I'm just like, oh my gosh. But he's good at what he does, and I really enjoy his shows. I also like Jack Osborne too as well. So because, you know, he's awesome too. Okay. And I also like when Kelly and Jack does like these things. Normally every year they do one. They've done one for the last 2 years. Last year it was like on the something ship. It was a Duchess ship or something like that. And then the year before that there was like different houses that they went on, and these houses weren't actually together, but they were actually put together because they were like picked up and moved. And I enjoyed that so much. I loved watching them. But anyways, let's get back to this article. Zach Bagans, I cannot say his last name, so I'm sorry, I'm butchering this. Something he later, okay, so he basically wanted to do a Ghost Adventures with the host, Zach Bargans. Something he later regretted. Bargans claimed something happened to his car after he meeting with the Annabelle. It was all an act for the camera. He was saying stuff like, I want to hug her. I feel sorry for her. I feel a connection to her. Spectra told the Superstitious Times about about Bargans. They cut it out. Still, Spectra said something about the experience terrified Bargans. The problem is it doesn't have to happen right away. The devil doesn't have to do what you want it to do. He told the publication, it may happen a year from now, and he won't attitude he won't abrute it to the doll. They're sly, they're cunning, they hate you. So there you go. That's kind of like a little bit about the museum and about, you know, Annabelle and things like that. Annabelle and this next guy, if they got together, like I said, that would be a nightmare in hell, I think, for everyone. Because these two dolls, I feel like they're so powerful that, oh my gosh, they would be a hell of a couple for sure. And I want to say something else too right now. This particular doll, his name is Robert, and he and Jack Osborne actually saw him on his show, and then he had a replica made of him, and Ozzy hated him and, you know, kind of exploded him, and then Jack got a new one. So that's kind of like, oh my goodness. So anyways, we're gonna get on to Robert now. And Robert the doll and Annabelle, I think they would make a hell of a couple. Like I said, those two dolls, like, yeah, let's keep them away from each other. I think Robert is in Florida. And like I said, the other Annabelle's in Connecticut. So they're a little ways away from each other. And hopefully none of them fly to go see the other one. Because I have a feeling, oh my goodness, not cool. anyways, let's get into the reading about Robert. And actually, before I read Robert, I think I have more pictures of him, which I'll probably share later with you. But this is Robert the doll, and he holds a little puppy. Let's see what they got to say about Robert the doll. Robert the doll. Before Annabelle made her big screen debut in The Conjuring, Robert was the most famous doll out there. The doll looks almost more simian than human, with black beady eyes, tiny distressed cuts on his face, a particular grin, and wearing a little sailor outfit likely originated worn by his owner, Robert Eugene Otto of Key West, Florida. Robert the doll's story goes back to 1904, when the real Robert, a boy who went by Gene, acquired it from his grandfather, who'd recently returned from a trip to Germany. Manufactured by the Steiff Company, which made the first teddy bear, the wool stuff-like sized doll was possibly intended as more of a display mannequin, though some say a maid to the Otto family gave Gene the doll, imbued with voodoo magic. Robert was consistent companion for Gene, and it was accused by the boy of various misdeeds and mysterious movements by the boy. Toys might be manipulated, furniture overturned, and eerie giggles might be heard throughout the Otto home, and Gene always placed the blame on Robert. As he grew older, Gene became an artist, as his inherited home was known as the artist house. There, Robert would be perched in a window on the second floor turret room, where people claimed he may change position. After Gene died in 1974, Myrtle Reuter purchased the home, and Robert came with it. She said the doll would move on its own, giggle, and change expression should anyone disparage Gene. In 1994, Reuter donated the doll to the Fort East Material Museum, the gallery of which was designed by Gene. Even before Robert became an attraction, he began attracting visitors who had heard of him. Kept in a glass display case, Robert lives at... In 1994, Reuter... Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to read this part again, but for some weird reason... Okay, I'm going to read this because for some reason it seems like they repeat themselves, but maybe not. Okay? In 1994, Reuter donated the doll to the Fort East Material Museum, the gallery of which was designed by Gene, even before Robert became an attraction. He began attracting visitors who had heard of him. Kept in a glass display case, Robert lives at the museum still, where people claim to be cursed by him should they insult him or take his photo without asking for permission. The doll is also credited for interfering with electronic devices. The doll is tis a bit of celebrity, receiving about 3 letters a day that range from apologies for bad behavior toward him to letters asking for advice. Robert is said to be a fan of sweets as well, and some people send candy. Intensively, Robert the doll sits with his own doll A dog with a gasping mouth that resembles the "This is fine" meme. Okay, I've got another. I think some of these were double printed. Whether Robert is cursed with the voodoo or somehow inhabits the energies of his former owner and lifetime friend, or even if he's just an old doll with a creepy story, you can find out for yourself by visiting him at the Fort East Matero Museum. Just err on the side of the caution and be polite to him. So there we are. So, okay, for the next one, we have another doll. And this is what the doll looks like. And I think there's more information on Robert coming up. Because I know okay, yes, there is. Here, I'll show you. Here is a photo of Robert the doll. And he is holding his dog. And he sits in a chair and he's got his little sailor thing on. But that's... Now, this was taken from the internet, guys. I did not go and take his picture. And here is another picture. But this is in black and white. Robert the doll, it says. And that's the one that actually Jack got a replica of, because they do that. They have replicas of the doll at the gift shop. And Ozzy was scared of the doll, and Ozzy exploded the doll. But then Jack got another doll of that. Oh boy. Okay, so here's some more about, I guess apparently we're gonna do more of Robert the doll. So, you know, here we go for Robert the doll. Learn about Robert the doll. We have all experienced it, the eerie feeling that something or someone was watching us, that an inanimate object had actually came alive. In Key West, many have not only experienced that feeling, but have also witnessed it when viewing the famous toy Robert the doll. You may visit him at the East Mortal Fort. So, okay, this is going to tell us a little bit more about the story of Robert the doll, okay? The beginning. The story of Robert the doll dates back to the early 1900s when a young boy named Eugene Robert Otto was given a one-of-a-kind handmade doll by a servant that worked for his parents in his home. Eugene, who everyone called Gene, named the doll Robert and quickly became attached to his new friend. The home where Eugene lived, now called the Artist's House, is located at 534 East Eaton Street and was built between 1890 and 1898. It was here that Eugene was given Robert the doll, and where a friendship that lasted throughout his lifetime and beyond was forged. While he seemed like an ordinary cloth doll, it wasn't long before Robert was involved in strange and somewhat terrifying events that first hint that something out of the ordinary was happening was one night when Gene, who was only 10 years old, awoke to find Robert the doll sitting at the end of his bed staring at him. Moments later, his mother was awakened by his screams for help and the sound of furniture being overturned in her son's bedroom. Gene cried for help, begging his mother to rescue him. When she finally was able to wrench the locked door open, she saw poor Gene curled up in fear on his bed, his room in shambles, and Robert the doll sitting at the foot of the bed. Robert did it were the only words Jean could get out. The same words he would later use many times throughout his childhood when something strange, mysterious, or destructive would happen. Did Robert do it? Nobody knows for sure why or how this child's plaything could actually wreak havoc on child's bedroom or do anything at all. After all, it was just a toy, right? But the weird and unexpectable didn't stop at that one occurrence. Jean's parents would often hear their son upstairs talking to the doll and getting okay, hang on a second. Getting a response back in a totally different voice. They reported seeing the doll speak and witnessing his expression change, giggling and sightings of Robert running up the steps or staring out the upstairs window were also reported. Robert continued to live with Jean throughout his lifetime, and after Jean's parents died, he moved back into their home with his wife, Anne. Jean decided that the doll needed a room of his own and placed him in the upstairs room that had a window overlooking the street. Anne felt uneasy with Robert in the house, and although she couldn't put her finger on it, she wanted Jean to lock the doll up in the attic where he could do no harm. Jean conceded, and as one could imagine, Robert the doll was not happy with his... Sorry, guys, about this, but it double did something. Was not happy with his new digs. Soon visitors to the home heard footsteps in the attic, the sounds of someone pacing back and forth, and devilish giggling. Neighborhood children report seeing Robert watching them from the window in the upstairs bedroom and told accounts of the doll actually mocking them as they walked to school. When Jean heard this, he immediately went to the investigate, knowing that he had locked Robert in the attic and there was no way he could be sitting by the window of the upstairs bedroom. But to his complete shock, when he opened the door to the bedroom and there was Robert sitting in the rocking chair by the window, Jean locked Robert back up in the attic several times, each time discovering him again sitting by the window in the same upstairs bedroom. A new child to terrorize. Jean Otto died in 1974, and when a new owner moved into the house on Eaton Street, their 10-year-old daughter was delighted to find Robert the doll in the attic, but her delight ended soon when... Okay, hang on a second. When, where he could do no... Okay, wait, hang on. This is not what I wanted. When the bedroom, there was Robert sitting in the rocking chair by the window. Okay, hang on, guys. I'm sorry about this. Okay, sorry. Sometimes the printer was cutting off stuff, so I had to like reprint it. And so, okay, here we go now. A new child to terrorize. Jean Otto died in 1974, and when a new owner moved into the house on Eaton Street, their 10-year-old daughter was delighted to find Robert the doll in the attic. But her delight ended soon when she claimed that Robert was alive and that the doll wanted to hurt her. She awoke often in the middle of the night, screaming in fear, and told her parents that Robert had moved about in the room. It wasn't long before Robert the doll was given away, and today he lives in the East Mortal Fort, where visitors from all over the world came to see him. Okay. All right, here's some more now about this. Is Robert really possessed? Many believe that the origin of Robert's evil lies in the one who originated gave him to Jean Otto, the servant who worked for Jean's parents. This woman was supposedly mistreated by her bosses, and to punish them, it is believed that she cursed the doll with a voodoo and black magic. That might explain the many mysterious and frightening experiences people have had with Robert the doll. But if so, wouldn't the haunting end when the owners died? No one really knows for sure, but one thing remains constant. Robert the doll continues to taunt and scare those who come to view him, especially guests to the museum who attempt to take photos. Many have reported their cameras becoming inoperable when they tried to take a picture of Robert, only to begin working again when they left the museum. Robert the doll sits inside a glass case, but it doesn't seem to stop him from inflicting fear and discomfort to museum staff and visitors. Staff members report that Robert's facial expression changes, hearing demonic giggling, and have even seen Robert put his hand up to the glass. Meet Robert at the East Monroe Museum. Visitors are welcome to view Robert in his special case at the museum, and of course encouraged to try and get a photo. Though most who've tried have been unsuccessful, if nothing else, get a close look at Robert and watch him carefully try to catch a glimpse of him smirking at you, moving around about his in his case, or watching you as you watch him. So that's a little bit about Robert the doll. Now I don't know if there's more on Robert the doll, but this one is another haunted doll, and I showed you the picture a little bit ago, but we had more information on Robert the doll. So, but yes, respect the dolls for sure, and respect all of the paranormal things that go on for sure. Okay, so this doll's name is Ruby the Haunted Doll. That's what they're calling it. Dana and Greg Newkirk's Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and Occult have had an extensive collection of supposedly haunted and definitely creepy objects worth seeing. Among them is Ruby the Haunted Doll, a porcelain paint and fabric doll from the early 1900s that originated in southern Ontario. According to the museum's description, Ruby spent decades in attics and basements as she was passed along by people who wanted nothing to do with her. The Newkirks report that previous owners came to believe she is still the possession of a young girl who died while holding the doll. Oh, wow. So that was her. Like other dolls listed here, Ruby is said to be able to move on her own, but what makes her especially interesting is the feeling of sadness or nausea that overcomes anyone who holds her. The premises Ruby's exhibit is not necessarily threatening or evil, as associated with other dolls on this list. But if you do get to check out the Traveling Museum, and you most certainly should, you can say hello to Ruby before hanging out with the famous idol of nightmares, Billy. Okay, so Nightmares Billy. Maybe I should check that out. I don't have him. I didn't do any research on that one. But here is the next doll, and her name is Peggy. Peggy. Okay. As far as haunted dolls go, Peggy looks fairly medium with blue eyes, blonde bob, but she might make you sick. Something of the internet sensation, Peggy was owned by British investigator Jane Harris of Haunted Dolls and has been reported to cause nausea, dizziness, headaches, and perhaps even heart attacks in those that simply see her photo. Those that encounter her in person might even go mad. Harris came into the possession of Peggy courtesy the previous owners who said the doll was causing bad dreams, and mediums who have visited the doll have claimed she is inhabited by a spirit prosecuted in life, possibly with ties to the Holocaust. Harris and her team came to believe Peggy's spirit is a woman from 1946 London who died of an illness that elared her chest. The woman also apparently hated clowns, which is ironic for a ghost inhabiting a doll. Oh, wow. Apparently, in order to avoid having too much information out there about her, Peggy also made Harris' notebook go missing following a seance. Most recently, Peggy was cured by Zach Bargains of Ghost Adventures, who is displaying the doll at his haunted museum in Las Vegas. Bargains said Peggy has affected him more than Robert the doll, claiming a typewriter began to typing on its own during a seance with Peggy. He added that since taking over ownership, Peggy has manifest files and poltergeist activity. To view it as at his museum, he requires visitors to sign a waiver, which is either a great safety measure or a brilliant publicity stunt. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? If she causes heart attacks and stuff like that, then yeah, you're going to cover your ass. I mean, okay, guys. Here is the next doll, and this doll's name is Harold. Whether or not it is correct, Harold the doll has a reputation for being the first of many haunted dolls to be sold on eBay. Oh, excuse me. I have been drinking carbonation, so excuse me, guys. I also need to yawn, so I'm yawning quick. Okay. Let's start from the beginning. Whether or not it is correct, Harold the doll has a reputation for being the first of many haunted dolls to be sold on eBay in 2003. His auction earned him media attention and later an appearance on Ghost Adventures. Zach Bargains hates dolls, but it's also good television to feature allegedly haunted dolls on a ghost show. The initial story behind the badly worn doll is that he belonged to a young son of a Florida man who had passed away in the 1940s. When the son died, the man and his wife reported hearing crying and singing from the boy's bedroom. A priest advised him to burn him let's see, wait a minute, hang on. A priest advised him to burn the doll, but he didn't burn. So the man kept it in his shed for about 60 years, allegedly. And then the original eBay seller put Haunted Harold up for sale after blaming the doll for his cat dying and losing his girlfriend to the pool man 2 days after buying it off the man. Oh my goodness. After being purchased for $300, Harold was passed along from one owner to the next, and some believed he caused misfortune everywhere he went. Noises were heard. Occasionally it would seem Harold's expression had shifted to a smile. Accordingly to the Ghost Adventure episode, a friend of one of the owners developed a brain tumor shortly after visiting Harold. Oh my gosh. Anthony Kuta, I can't pronounce his last name, I'm butchering it, purchased the doll in 2004 and said that there were souls imprisoned in and by the doll. He chronicled attacks by Harold on him and others in a book about his time with the doll. Oh my gosh. Okay. And so there's this next thing here. This next doll. I'm just going to put it up here. Here's the next doll. That one looks so creepy. The story of Letta. Letta is one of those that if only portions of it all, if are true, it's damn creepy. Owner Kerry Walton said he discovered the doll in the 1970s under the floorboards of an abandoned house. He was scavenging in Wagga Wagga, New South Wales, Australia. Wooden and with glass eyes, the doll was put in his trunk. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry if the camera moved. I kicked it because my knees are getting a little sore and I'm trying to stretch out my legs. Okay, sorry guys. I'll get back to it now. Walton then proceeded to drive home until that is he heard movement and a howl of "let me out." Hence the name Letta was born. So he put the wooden doll with the glass eyes in his trunk. Oh, how creepy. Upon bringing Letta home, Walton said his children were terrified of it and said they heard it talking to itself, moving on its own. Also, dogs apparently acted aggressively towards it. Then, who encountered Letta may have vivid nightmares or feel nauseous. Plus, Walton suggests Letta walks around at night. When he had it examined, Walton claimed Letta dated back 200 years, made with real human hair by Eastern Europe gypsies, and it was supposedly haunted by a restless spirit of a drowned boy. Unsurprisingly, Letta made the television rounds and became a famously haunted doll, and Walton has vowed not to get rid of it, despite the inky cloud of dread and anxiousness hanging around it. Then again, he does travel. Okay, he does travel with the doll and charges for photographs with it. Okay, I'm sorry about all the things that I had going on here, but my printer was printing things really oddly and stuff, so I had to like double print stuff. So that's why I was having issues with the reading of it. But guys, this respect the dolls, just respect the dolls. And so yeah, those were the ones that I found off the internet. I like tried to find more dolls, but I think, you know, I may do another video of it. And it may be like next year around Halloween, maybe I'll do another doll video or something like that. Haunted doll video, like part 2 or something. But for this year, that's what I came up with. I hope you guys are a little more educated on Annabelle the doll, because they couldn't use the original doll. I was like wondering why they didn't make like the Annabelle that looked more like, you know, the real Annabelle. But now we know it's for, because they didn't want to get in trouble. Because if they made one exactly like it would be like a copyright type of thing. And they didn't want that to happen. They didn't want the copyright to happen. So they made the doll look like, you know. So, but anyways, guys, I hope you guys got a little bit more of the history lesson of some of the haunted dolls that are more popular and more out there. Some of the dolls I haven't heard of myself. I've heard of Annabelle and Robert, and there's probably been like one other doll that I really can't remember what it was, because I used to watch like a lot of haunted history on the History Channel a lot, and they would have some of these. So I actually got to see Robert the doll's house, and then they had a reenactment of the doll in the house or whatever. I can remember, I think that the house was like square, like a square thing, and it had windows like all up in like the top floor, so you can look out at it and stuff. You can look out at all the windows. It was really cool. It was a cool looking house. And since it's kind of like known as the artist house, you could think of it basically that way, because it was actually really, it was a neat looking house. So yeah, my hair's a mess now because I messed with it. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys got a little insight on some of the dolls. Like, I really wanted to do Robert the Doll and Annabelle, because those two dolls, like, they I think, like, you know, people need to learn about them, not just like what's on the movies or whatever. So but yeah, Annabelle's a very fascinating doll or whatever, but I mean, I don't know if I'd really want to meet Robert or her in real life, because those dolls kind of scare me a little bit. Because, I mean, I wouldn't want any harm coming to me or anything. I wouldn't want them thinking I was trying to provoke them or doing anything. You know, if anything, I would just want them to know that, you know, hey, I respect you. I know that you're haunted and, you know, stuff like that. And like, I wouldn't want any ill coming from them or whatever, you know. I wouldn't want to, you know, because I do believe in like real ghost things. I do believe in these like stories, and I do believe that those dolls are haunted and that they could do bad to people and stuff like that. I mean, I would be a fool not to, and I would never want to mimic the dolls or anything, but I mean, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say this, but like, I just felt like, you know, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody or anything or the dolls themselves, but I mean, I was just thinking about Annabelle and Robert, and I'm just thinking those two would just make like a really power couple, because they're both like, you know, they're both dolls and they're both, you know what I mean? Like, it's just nuts. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think about haunted dolls? Do you think that they're real, or do you think that it's not? Like, what do you guys think about them? You know what I think, that they are real, and I do believe in them and stuff like that. And just if you do go see, you know, Robert the Doll, respect him. Respect Robert the Doll, please. And if you ever get a chance to see Annabelle, which it's closed, so you probably won't ever, but if you guys do out there, you go see Annabelle, please respect her, because, you know, those dolls deserve some respect. And that's why you're not able to touch them. And remember, if you're going to take Robert's picture, make sure you talk to Robert about taking his picture, because apparently he doesn't like that, and he doesn't like people mocking him, so do not mock him. Because like the article said, this guy mocked him and then ended up having, like, a little while after visiting Robert, he had a motorcycle accident and died. So then that's unfortunate, because you don't play with this stuff. I don't get why people don't take it so seriously. Like, you just don't play with the dolls, so just don't. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoy these videos or these types of videos. If you guys want to see any other videos or if you guys want any other information, I could look up some more stuff for you. I have more videos on the way of spookiness and spooky things and stuff, so please stay tuned to my channel. If you haven't already and you like what you see and you like these videos, please subscribe to my channel. And also don't forget to hit the little notification bell. It'll tell you when I am going to post new videos, which I'm hoping to do Wednesdays and Fridays, guys. Wednesdays and Fridays. I'm trying to do 2 per week, and I've been doing pretty good up to this point. So let's hope I can keep the momentum going. Anyways, guys, be safe, stay spooky, be nice to everybody, be respectful of everyone, and also stay spooktacular. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Thank you guys for subscribing. And if not, and also, I love hearing from you guys, so please leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up if you like these types of videos so I know what to do, what to not to do. Anyways, guys, you know I like the paranormal, you know I like ghosts, you know I like all that good stuff. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you in the next video on Jennifer's Lair. Have a great night, guys. Stay spooky. Have a lovely day or night whenever you're watching this. And thank you guys so much again for watching and for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you. Love you guys. Only love. Later. Have a good one. See you next time on Jennifer's Lair. Bye.